Have you ever bought something online from another country? Or maybe you've wondered how a giant company like Apple actually pays its suppliers in China. Well, behind all of that is this massive, almost invisible river of money that connects the entire globe. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the biggest market in the world, one you might not even know exists, the foreign exchange market. So it all kicks off with a really simple question. Let's imagine a company in Paris wants to buy some equipment from a supplier over in Austin, Texas. The French company has euros, right? But the American company, they want to get paid in good old US dollars. So how do they make that happen? How do you bridge that gap? You know, that one little problem, one company holding euros while the other needs dollars, that is the very reason this colossal global system exists in the first place. So let's follow the money and see how it works. So how does it actually happen? It's not like the French company's bank just wires over a bunch of euros and hopes for the best. No. They have to go into this huge marketplace, sell their 100,000 euros, and get the $110,000 that the supplier in Austin needs. That single exchange, that one little transaction, is literally the basic building block of our entire global financial system. And that giant marketplace, well, it's got a name. The foreign exchange market, or as you'll often hear it, Forex or FX. Think of it as the essential plumbing of the global economy. Without it, money can't flow across borders, and international trade would pretty much grind to a halt. Okay, so we've seen how one transaction works, but just how big is this marketplace? Well, when you take that one trade and multiply it by millions and millions of others happening every single day, the numbers start to get, well, kind of insane. That is $7 trillion. Let that sink in. It's a number so big, it's hard to even picture. That's the value of currency traded on the Forex market every single day. To put that in perspective for you, that's about 20 times the entire world's daily economic output. Just wow. Now, in this vast ocean of money, not all currencies are created equal. The undisputed king, by a long shot, is the US dollar. Now, I know what you're thinking looking at this chart. Wait a minute, those numbers add up to 200%. And you're absolutely right. That's because every trade has two sides, right? A currency being sold and a currency being bought. And the US dollar is on one side of a staggering 88% of all those trades. It's why people call it the vehicle currency. It's like the global financial highway that almost everyone has to drive on. So who's actually in there doing all this trading? Well, it's a whole ecosystem of players. You've got the huge commercial banks, of course. You have multinational corporations like Apple that need to pay for parts. You've got massive pension funds investing our money overseas. And yeah, even central banks are in on the action, managing their country's reserves. And this is a brilliant way to think about the two main ways they trade. You can trade on the spot market, which is for immediate delivery. It's like it's pouring rain right now, so you buy an umbrella at today's price. Simple. Or you can use the forward market. This is like checking the weather, seeing rain as forecast for next week, and locking in a price for an umbrella today, so you don't get gouged later. It's all about managing future risk. But here's the thing. The system we have today, where currency values just float up and down freely, it wasn't always like this. Not at all. The rules of this game have actually changed dramatically over the years. For decades, we had the gold standard. Your money was literally backed by physical gold. Then, after World War II, the world shifted to the Bretton Woods system. Here, the US dollar was fixed to gold, and pretty much every other major currency was fixed to the dollar. It's only since 1973 that we've been living in this wild era of floating exchange rates we have now. So why did that seemingly stable system totally break down? Well, it came down to this fatal flaw, a real brain twister called the Triffin paradox. See, the world needed more and more US dollars to fuel global trade. But the more dollars the US printed, the more people realized, hey, wait a minute, there's no way they have enough gold to back all this up. It was a classic catch-22, a contradiction that just couldn't last. And it all came to a head on August 15, 1971. The US officially said, that's it, we're cutting the dollar's tie to gold. In that one moment, the Bretton Woods system collapsed, and the modern Forex market we know today was born. Okay, I know that's a massive, complex market with a pretty dense history, but why on earth should you care about any of this? Well, because the movements in this giant market have a direct, real-world impact on your wallet. So first, we need to get one thing straight. There are two types of rates. The nominal rate, that's just the price you see on the sign at the exchange kiosk.
But the one that really matters is the real exchange rate. That's all about purchasing power. What can your money actually buy in another country?
And you know, there's a really fun way to look at this in action. The famous Big Mac Index. A Big Mac costs way, way more in Switzerland than it does in the US, even after you convert the currency. This is a simple way of showing you that, in terms of pure burger buying power, the Swiss franc is stronger or maybe overvalued compared to the dollar. It's a tasty little snapshot of the real exchange rate. And this is really where it all comes home for you and me. A strong dollar, that means that trip to Paris you've been dreaming of is suddenly cheaper. It means that cool imported product you've been eyeing is more affordable. But on the flip side, it makes it much harder for US companies to sell their stuff abroad. It's this delicate balance that affects everything from the price of your morning coffee to the long-term value of your retirement savings. So we have to end with this. For more than 40 years now, the dollar has been the sun that this entire global financial system revolves around. But in a world that's changing fast with new economic powers on the rise, probably the single biggest question in finance today is, will the king always keep its crown?